All right, guys, today's the 2nd of September 2025. CRAZII Market Talk with KEL. Crazy, anytime, anywhere. Now, I think the last 2 days we have been doing well. From last Friday to yesterday, our gold position have been doing very well, and I will be covering that very, very shortly in the second half. And of course, disclaimer apply as usual for whatever I share in the market. Now, do understand this. You have to use the OP rule. The OP rule is a very, very important rule in CRAZII, and I've been telling people this. There's a difference between why 97% of the traders lose money and 3% makes money. And the reason for the 3% that makes money is because they know that the market is actually more directional every single day. Now, of course, there are days whereby it's impromptu, there will be dojis, but those doji days are part and parcel of the entire market. You like it or not, it always is there. So later on, right, we'll cover this in the day chart segment itself, right? Why traders don't make money in the market, because they really forget the most important thing is to follow through trading. Okay, so this one is very important. We'll come to that later. Now, today itself, right, there's not much political news because last night it was a holiday. If you didn't notice that was a US Labor Day. Yeah. Okay, so nothing has much changed. Basically, so everybody's waiting for the court decision whether the tariff would it be legal or illegal. So okay, you can see that after the federal appeal on court on Friday ruled that most of Donald Trump's global tariffs are illegal. The Court of Appeal for the Federal Circuit determined in a 7-4 ruling that only Congress has the ability or the authority to apply sweeping levies. The Donald Trump court the decision is highly partisan and said that he will appeal the ruling to the US Supreme Court. Now, the US Supreme Court basically ruled against the use of IEEPA on the reciprocal. The tariff would reduce the risk of broad-based tariff escalation, which is market positive. So the thing is this right now, right? The thing everybody wants the tariff to be out. But you must understand that if the tariff is out, then US will really have very little money left. All right. So it's a good thing that if you remove tariff, the market will be like it for a short moment. But after that itself, the market will go back into a spiral of selling, because that means that there'll be no more money coming in. So all this development, right, coincide with the September, which is historically the worst month for equities. Now, it's the worst month because on average itself, for the last 70 years, September usually comes out negative. All right, so not 100%, but negative most of the time. So you can see from the start of the month and now the market have been very, very sideways on this. Yeah. Okay. Right. Next thing is this, as expected, Donald Trump calls India and the India-US trade relationship a total one-sided disaster after Modi visit China. So I told you guys, the moment Modi visit China and when Modi says that they are partners, that definitely rock the boat between themselves and US. Okay, so this one, I'll send it out to you. Now, one thing to note is that the Indonesia, we have some issue now. If you didn't notice this, Indonesia, because of that unfortunate event with the truck, the army, I think the police, yeah, truck ran over the unfortunate Grab driver, and that created a huge bug in everywhere. And of course, that caused the stock market to fall, the currency to fall. And then, of course, this Indonesia was doing pretty well. And now, because of this thing, it came to chaos. And you can see that this is actually quite bad. This is a protester that basically hold an Indonesia flag in front of headquarters that was set on fire. Oh my God, imagine you set fire on a police headquarters. Oh gosh, this is really crazy stuff in Indonesia. So of course, friends of mine, if you are going there, please be careful, right? Okay, so because of the little market news, I'm going to skip all this and just go straight to the market today. Now, I think that the one that is making the highlight now is gold. Gold is now at 3,499. I'm pretty optimistic that gold will be able to break the 3,500 level. For those who bought some gold, you can take some profit at the moment right now. 3,500 should be able to touch by this afternoon, okay, or even earlier if things goes well. All right, so that is for gold. For those who made money from gold, congratulations to all of you. Well done. Okay, let's look at why gold today is so strong. Now, there's a lot of concern asking me, KL, how come gold is going up, but the boys are selling? So which is correct? Now, I repeated this many, many times, all right? Always follow the OP rule. That is my point. And second thing is that you look at MLP. Every time when the market hit MLP, you can see that the market rebounded, right? So that tells you that the market is very bullish. This is all you need to know, all right? They'll be covering this shortly. So that's why today gold is going up. So why the boys are selling? Because you must understand the boys have been buying gold for a long time. They could be taking profit along the way up. You cannot justify that based on what you're seeing right now. You think that they are selling and they are wrong. They could be selling based on what they have bought over here. You see, they've been buying a lot when the price was going down. When the boys were buying, why didn't you say that they were wrong? Okay, so that's why, come to trading, a lot of time humans have this factor that they don't admit their own mistake or their way of looking at it. So to me, is that I am still buying gold, but I'm gonna buy, my size that I'm buying now is much smaller than the size I bought earlier because the boys are actually selling. That's my main point here. Yeah. Okay, so if gold continue to go higher and break the 3,500, we may even see 3,514. All right, but thing is this is a very high number. It's a new high if it could happen. So all I can say is this: if the market ever pulls back, it should be able to take out a few KCB because of the KSI is actually red in color. Yeah. Okay, so that is for gold. Now the next one is Dow Jones. Now Dow Jones has been sideways, doji, three dojis in a row, although it crossed 2 months. Now to have three dojis in a row, it's very clear that the market is waiting for a sudden big movement to erupt. Now I can tell you this upfront: you can either going to see 46,000 coming in, or you'll see 45,000. That means that the upside itself is going to be 46,000. The downside itself is going to be 45,000. So it's either one of each other, okay? And now we are at 45,500. We are just at the middle of it. So that basically make it even more tiring for everybody. Now, I know that some of you have been shorting the Dow and been asking me the same question, KEL. I don't think the Dow is going to go down because, this and that. Now, I will give you a very simple, fair assessment here. Now, the Dow, we can see that it's in the doji form, yeah? But the KSI is all the way in green. So when it's green, you expect the price to go up, right? So it happens. But the thing is right now the market is sideways while it's staying green. So it's a very different thing from compared to the previous. Here itself, the market was going down and KSI is green. Here the market is green, but the KSI is green, but the market is sideways. So to me itself, right, this is like someone is selling as hard as it is while the boys are buying. So something is wrong in this equation. So of course, if anything that the Supreme Court ruled in a favor to basically rules Donald Trump think tariff illegal, it may spike the market a bit. Yeah, it might spike the market a bit. But after that, the market will realize that without the tariff, all the money will be no longer available, and that will create more problem for US. And then that is where the real selling comes in because then Donald Trump will have no idea, maybe have no thing to do, right? He cannot continue the tariff if the US Supreme Court rules against it. So because of that itself, that basically makes the whole thing even more exciting, if you ask me. So all I can say is that let's just stay cool and let the market decide. Today, the highest point it can go is 45,769. That is the pivot one. And now it's basically challenging itself at the pivot two at 45,549. That is the current price. So if the market breaks below OP and below pivot two, it'll be a sell. It's a classic sell. And today is a DJDD, so the market OP is very important. But the downside is a bit tough because the MA30 is actually below it. For it to come down here itself, it'll fight the strength of MA30. So you compare this with Bitcoin later on, you'll see it's a very different thing altogether, yeah? Okay, so that is for the Dow Jones. All right, gold I've covered. Let's look at the market I missed out yesterday is Hang Seng, okay? Now, Hang Seng, as you can see on the screen very shortly, all right, Hang Seng basically you can see has went down recently. Then after that, the boys came in very strongly, and you can see the market rebounded. So you can see that when the boys are selling, the KSI can still be green. So it's really how you use the KSI to your advantage, which I'll share with you shortly in the second segment. So now we have it's a stack diamond on Hang Seng. And we have the technical level. So as long as the market stays above OP, we should still see further upside because the boys are buying, the retail are buying, the stack diamond is there. But if the market fails to stay above OP and come down instead, then I think there will be some selling down all the way to MA30. And of course, if the bar turns red color, that will be a confirmed sell already. Yeah. So traders take note of that. Now, oil price has crept up recently because of there's some issue in Middle East as usual. So let me bring the oil in. Now, oil is usually one of the catalysts that basically creates some mayhem for the stock market. And we all know that the next PC data will be the CPI data will be very important. Hold on, having some issue to drag out my crude oil chart up. Okay, so you can see at this moment right now, crude oil has already shown strength that it's going to go up. So because of that, you can see the boys are buying and they've been accumulating while the boys kept on increasing their stake ownership on this. So once again, you can see that the KSI has its merits when people think that this is going to go down, the price is going to go down. Okay, the boys are buying. In fact, they are buying more than they are selling. In fact, you see that the thing uptick, right? So all these speaks for itself. So which means that if crude oil is to go up, the first target it will be $66.30. All right. The last time we saw crude oil shooting up itself was back in July, and then after that it caved in because you see the diamond was there. You draw a line across it. Once the market goes below the line and it turns red in color, no matter what you tell me, it's a sell. By the way, gold has just rocketed to new all-time high 3501 right now. Congratulations to all of you. Congratulations. Mhm. I thought, okay, who wanted English or yeah? Okay, so congratulations to all of you that the goal is going up. Wow, 13503. Well done. Okay, well done, guys. Congrats, congrats, congrats. Yeah. Okay, so that is how things are moving. As long as you follow rules, you make money from the market. All right, next market will be on Bitcoin. I'm talk about the Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin to me is always a barometer for me to trade in the market. Yeah, I always like to use Bitcoin as barometer. Okay, I'm trying to again same thing do that. Okay, so you can see right now Bitcoin today has a very interesting thing happen. Bitcoin today, you can see that Bitcoin basically opens and then it came down. It came exactly to the MA 200, 107538. All right, the low is 107470. So it touched the MA beautifully and rebounded over there. And from there to now, it's up at almost 2000 points. So that is why I told you the MA is very powerful. But if you must read it from my angle, whereby we put the MA from the right side in. So once it touches the line, you just have to buy. You don't need to wait so much, yeah. And you can see that if you look at the 5-minute chart of the Bitcoin, you will see that it touches the MA and then rebounded from there itself. Okay, let me just show it to you. Okay, you can see that this is really, really beautiful stuff. The Bitcoin opens here, and then once it goes down, it touches the MA with the boys buying. Can you see that? And then after that, the green dots come out is when the market touches any part of the candle touches the MA, you have a green dot, and you can see the diamond coming in. You draw the line, and that's where you buy up to above OP. So this is how you can trade when the market touch a technical point and rebound. For people who do swing trading, you can do that only when you have a technical point being touched. All right. If you just randomly buy and sell, I mean buy or sell in the swing, you get hit by the market. Yeah. Now, of course, at the same time, we will have the Ethereum that is also moving today. Now, Ethereum today also had the same thing. It touches okay, but this time around, it didn't touch MA. It touches the pivot 2 very nicely. The pivot 2 is 4209. The low is 4207. Once it touches the pivot 2, it rebounded. So all this technical level, I mean, think about this. Only CRAZII can deliver this sort of thing, exactly the level for you to take note, yeah? So, so if you look at this right now, if you put the Ethereum to the 5-minute chart, right, you can see this happening. Okay. You can see that it came down and then it touches the pivot 2 beautifully. And then after that, it recovers and there's a diamond again. You draw the line and you can have the buy up as you can see right now. So again and again, our system itself is pretty cool if you know how to utilize it and get the maximum of it. Yeah. Okay, guys, that in currency, yeah. So I saw more to go is currency. We try to make it very fair. We cover everything. I mean, every aspect of it itself, whether it's Ethereum, crypto, currency. We do cover all just to make sure that it's fair across the board for some users. Now we cannot cover like a 1 hour session because it's going to be very tiring for everybody to stay in attention. So you can see this is actually pound. Pound has started to go up itself because the euro, I mean the dollar has declined. And you can see that there's a 4 diamond here. So once the market stays above the line, it's actually a buy. So for pound, if this continue, I suspect that it will be going towards the 135,825 level. Yeah. Okay. All right. That will be for pound. All right. That'll be all for today. Gold has pulled back from the high of 35005. 3505. I think it's a good time to take some profit off the table, everybody. Okay. I'll see you guys in 2 minutes. Come back. I'll tell you more and how to use the day chart for gold. Yeah. Just don't go away. Okay. See you in 2 minutes time.